What just happened? I'm Dan. That is Bagface. And today we're here to talk Season 3, Episode 2 of From, called When We Go. All right, just so you guys know, if you're new to the channel, we do theory videos based on your comments. We have one of those videos coming out in 2 days, so get your theories in. I have something on Fatima that I want to share to try to spark some of your guys' comments, if you agree with me or not. But whatever you think's going on, the symbol, the kids, and Kiwi, everything that's happening with Tabitha, drop those theories below, and we'll talk about them in a couple days. All right, this episode starts off with Jade. He's like, all right, I should go check on the barn.
Somebody has to go and see
if they saved the cows. And he goes in, and he sees Boyd, and he's speaking Cantonese. And I'm wondering how the hell he knows Cantonese, but we find that out later. And then he sees Tin Shen ripped to pieces, and Boyd is distraught. It's a very, very sad scene.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And yeah, rip.
You didn't catch the language thing in the last episode? Right at the end of the episode, she's repeating that over and over again, and you see him like trying to learn what she's saying. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Makes sense. So
that scene was heartbreaking though, man. Holy shit. When he like runs over and holds her, dude.
Yeah.
He's so underrated as an actor, man. That scene was fucking so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Very good. We were talking pre-show about the writing and the acting this season. It's really stepped it up a notch. It's very, very good. So I'm very happy with the season so far, even though it's been pretty sad. But I think they're going to start to fight back. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So then Jim wakes up and Kenny wakes up. He doesn't know what happened yet. And Jim found all these crops. And he's like,
Look at this. It's growing in patches all around the lake. There's enough food here to feed everybody in the entire town.
So what's up with that? Something good happened after something bad happened? They're just giving them hope? What is that?
Yeah. I think it's just whatever is on their side in the town, wherever the town is. I think later on, I kind of have a weird theory too that I was thinking about, like while we were watching the episode, kind of about what the town might be. But yeah, I think it's just the side of the town that exists that's trying to help them, being like, here you go, don't die. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing that gave them the talismans, that led Boyd to the talismans. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The good and the bad, the devil and God, whatever you want to see, however you want to frame it or phrase it. There you go. So then Tabitha wakes up at Victor's. He has a gun that he bought 40 years ago, and she wakes up. He points the gun at her. He's like, you got to tell me about that lunchbox. And then she starts to talk about the town.
But there were people there. And some of them have been there for a while. I don't know how long, but they've been.
And then he's like, no. Tell me about the lunchbox. And she's like, I'm trying to do that. And she explains what happens with the town. He's getting angry.
Where did you get the lunchbox?
He gave it to me.
And he's like, I'm going to call the cops. She's like, please don't call the cops. He's like, I already did 20 minutes ago. They're on the way. And then she's like, well, I got something to prove. I'm not lying. Very smart what she does. We'll talk about that in a second. And then Sarah tells Christy that Tin Shen died.
If you think for a second, Tin Shen died.
And then she tells Mary. And a lot of people when they saw the trailer thought that body was Christy, that they were wheeling through the town. I'm very happy it's not Christy. I'm also very sad that Tin Shen is dead. So I kind of feel, I don't know how to feel. I just really like Christy as a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's just kind of sad to see anyone. I think this is the first character from the original like season 1 group that has died, that didn't die in season 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hit pretty hard. I'm also glad it wasn't Christy though. I feel like she has a lot more story left to go with her girlfriend and Kenny. Yeah, their little love triangle thing.
Yeah, for sure. Boyd takes the body to the church. They want to bury her with her husband. And Jay's like, wait a minute. How the hell are you alive? You were in the barn with those things. How are you alive? He's like,
They wanted me to watch.
So it's very, very morbid. And he's really, really, really broken down in this moment. Great acting from Harold Perrineau. Seriously, fantastic stuff. And then Donna runs up to him, asks if it's true.
Boyd! Is it true?
He walks away. They get into a heated debate later. We'll talk about that too. And then Ethan is very upset. He doesn't want to believe that Tin Shen is dead. He really liked her. She really loved him. So then Victor goes, I got to go.
I told you that bad things happen. It's not my fault that you didn't listen. I have to go.
I got some shit to do. What's up with that? Where is he going?
I don't know, man. I think he's maybe he's gonna go try and find Tabitha. That's the only thing I could think. He's gonna be like, all right, I'm going in this faraway tree. I'm gonna see where it takes me.
Okay.
But yeah, he was fucking killer in that scene. He's also one of the people on this show that I think is really underrated as an actor and a character, because he seems so simple and he's just kind of like this crazy dude. But there's moments that he has to act with Ethan, which even the kid is a great actor, but it's just astonishing what he can like bring out of the scene with those two. It's really cool. It's really good. Yeah,
I agree. And then back to Tabitha and Henry. That is Victor's father's name. And Tabitha shows him that, look, we're missing. They go on the internet. We're missing. I'm not lying. There's this town that people can't leave. And then she brings up the children in the tower. And he's like, whoa, back up a second.
Whoa. What did you say?
Him hearing that when the cops come, he goes, no, there's no break-in. I'm sorry. It was just dogs. Because her saying that, we find out later that his wife had visions of that stuff. And that was the moment where he's like, maybe you're not so full of shit. So there you go. It makes a lot of sense. And then this is when Donna gets in a fight with Boyd. And she's like, was it worth it, Boyd?
Risking everyone's lives for what? An extra goat, a cow?
How many animals did you even save? Was it worth it? You got one of our people killed. We're what matter. The food's not what matter. And he's like, wait a minute. Last week you were freaking out that we have no food, and now you're pissed at me that I was trying to save the food? Like, what's up with that? And he's all pissed off.
And now you're standing there telling me that we would have found another way, that I should have get the fuck out of here.
I get why he's pissed, but it's a lose-lose situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And then Donna's got a special way about her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I always enjoy it, but it always seems like she cares. So I can take it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I have a theory on Fatima. So she's sick again. I have a big theory on her later. So stay tuned for that. Ellis checks in on her. She spits out blood. She spits out a tooth. Ellis is like, we need to go see Christy. She comes out of the bathroom.
I think you're right. Maybe you should go see Christy.
So they go. Christy's not there. Mary's there. She's like, I know a lot about pregnancy.
I am, however, a pediatric nurse. So as far as pregnancy goes, I've pretty much seen everything.
That's kind of my specialty. So you're in good hands. We're good. So they talk about her mind state in a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. And then Christy and Boyd talk. This was a shot from the trailer. And they finally talk about that damn truck in the pool. And I always wanted them to address that. Like, it's never been moved. It's just it's just been there. Apparently, it's belonged to a couple named Danny and Shay that were killed in the town. So they addressed that.
Danny and Shay. They were good kids, yeah.
And then Chrissy's like, this isn't your fault. Don't blame yourself.
This isn't your fault, okay?
And then Kenny and Jim show up. And it's really tough scene because they're so happy. They're like, look, we found all this food.
There's a lake and it's got everything. There's potatoes. There might even be fish.
We found all this food. Everybody's super quiet. Jim's like, where are my kids? Boyd's like, your kids are fine. And then Kenny's like, where's my mom? No one answers him. And then he starts calling out to her house in Cantonese.
Mom! Stop. No.
Mom, where are you? He knows she's dead. He doesn't want to accept it. And Chrissy's like, I'm going to go help him. Don't worry. So he goes to the diner. Chrissy's there. He's like, I'm okay. I want to know where she is. She's in the church. They talk more in a second. Back to Ellis and Fatima. So she hasn't eaten in 4 days. And then Ellis questions Mary's mind state, talking about her being an addict. She's like, oh, because I went through withdrawal. Like, dude, you're in good hands. She's malnourished. And she has...
You also may have something called hyperemesis gravidarum. It's essentially really bad morning sickness.
And she needs to start eating more. That's something really important. And it's not going to help the situation if she continues to not eat. She's got to force herself to eat. So as far as they can tell, the baby is fine. But one of my theories, I'm going to save the other one for later, is that when this kid is born, if this kid is born, it's going to be kind of a half breed of a creature and a human. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. Maybe it becomes like... one of those kids.
Yeah.
Like the Ankui kids, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe like the kid dressed in white. Like maybe those kids are kids that were all born in this place. And they all just are kind of stuck there. Because they got like black on their mouths, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's like part of their character. Yeah. And like the vegetables are like rotten and black, you know? She kind of has like the same thing going on after she eats them.
That's part of my theory. So I'm saving that for when we get to it. Then Kenny asks if his mom suffered. And I'm like, bro, you don't want to know. My wife was like, why did he ask that question?
Did she suffer?
Oh, God. Like, you don't want to know. And then he talks about his dad. He's like, the only thing I can picture when I think of my dad is him destroyed in the basement. I don't want that same thing to happen with my mom. Can you please make her look as much like herself as possible?
Can you make her look like her?
When I finally see her and she agrees, and then Celebration plays on the jukebox. The town is just jabbing Kenny at this moment.
Just mocking him, man.
It's horrible. So he freaks out. He smashes the jukebox that was also in the trailer. And then Jim walks back into Julie, and Julie's like, dude, Ethan almost died too. We saw when he opened the door to the grandmom. What's with the grandmom always trying to kill kids? She killed the kid in the pilot of this series, and now she's trying to kill Ethan. You got something on that?
Yeah, it's definitely because she's like a grandma figure. I think that's more welcoming. Or, if you had like the big bus driver walking up to the kids, I think they'd automatically have the response,
Yeah. So it's kind of like trying to trick them into being like, oh, you're safe. And no,
also, I just kind of noticed that there's no kids that are those walker things.
Yeah, none.
Which is a little weird. Because you'd think they would use kids if they had kids to like lure kids out. But no
sure.
Kids. Yeah.
No kids. That's interesting. Anything on that? Comment below. Julie goes, when Thomas died, you and Mom both fell apart. I can't go through this again. Get your shit together, Dad.
I need you to get your shit together.
Which is fair.
Yo, she was really good in this episode too. She was probably my least favorite on the show for the first 2 seasons because just mostly the way she was written, and then you only have so much to work with, so the actress is kind of playing her just like an annoying teen. But that was the first really heavy scene she had in this season, and I was like, wow, this is good, man. Like they really upped the game on this season already. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been really great. The acting, the writing, the directing, the camera shots, everything's been really great. Yeah, super good. So then back to Henry and Tabitha. He says his wife heard voices from children calling out, talking about that they were locked in a tower. No one should know that. I told a detective.
And he died 20 years ago.
You know that. So what's up with that? So then he shows her where his kids slept. And he said, the last thing I said to my kids was,
clean your room or no TV.
He's really hurt. He's like, I don't even care that everybody thinks I'm the reason my family is missing. I'm just broken because I lost my family 40 years ago. I've had no answers until you showed up at my doorstep. So now I want to know more. Interesting character, this Henry guy.
Yeah, I love the part too where they're standing in the hallway and he's like, just tell me if this is a joke.
If this isn't real, you tell me right now.
Which makes me think like people probably played pranks on him for years after his family disappeared. Which is just so sad, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad. And he's like, how do you know about the voices? You must be telling the truth if you know about the voices. And she's like, well, I think I was sent here to find you. He's like, no.
I think you're here for what's in the basement.
Which is amazing. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then Fatima tells Ellis to go see his dad. And then here's my theory on Fatima. So she's eating dead ass crops and she is scarfing them down. So I kind of think she may be a daywalker already. She may be part monster, part creature, whatever you want to call them. I heard people call them Fromites. That's it. I think there's something up with Fatima. You got something.
So the only thing that walks around in Day that isn't human that we've seen are those kids, right? And we don't really know if they're good or bad. I feel like they're good just because the boy in white kind of led Tabitha out back into the real world. He seems to be helping her. He seems to have helped Victor a ton in the past. So I'm wondering, maybe she turns into the mother of them or something. Yeah, maybe she's becoming more connected to this place because the baby is somehow connected to this place, which could definitely be a possibility, like evil baby kind of thing. But it could also just be, could also be like one of those weird black-mouthed kids and she ends up being like a mom to them all and helping them. I don't know. She's too pretty to be evil, man.
That's the trick they're playing with you, man.
That's
the
true.
trick they're playing with you.
Yeah,
I'm suspect on her. Drop your theories below. I want to.
I'd rather see an evil Julie arc. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
I really want to talk some Fatima theories in the theory video. So if you got anything on that, comment them below. We'll definitely use your comments. So then Christy and Jade are trying to make Tin Shen presentable. And then Sarah walks up. She's like, look, when the diner was dead, we used to play dress up. This is the dress she always wore.
She said she'd wear it the day we all went home. I just thought.
I think it'd be nice if you buried her with this dress on. So that's very nice.
Thank you, Sarah.
and a very nice moment. And then Kenny is pouring alcohol into bottles, and he's like, I'm going into the tunnels, and I'm going to burn those motherfuckers.
And I'm gonna burn every last fucking one of them.
And I'm going to burn them all. And I want an episode where they fight back, and I think that's coming.
Oh,
I think
it's
that's coming soon. Yeah.
Man, it was cool to see too. This Boyd season 1, season 2 would have been like, no, man, you need to calm down. Come back to the station with me. I'll talk to you. But he was just like, all right, man. Like, if that's where you're going, that's where I'm going. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
I got your back, bro.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay, let's do it.
I loved it.
He finally gets the dad role for Kenny in that moment where he's like, you don't need like a dad who's like trying to sit you down and teach you lessons. You need someone to ride with you because that's what he lost in his dad, you know? It's sweet to see, man.
Let's fucking go.
So it's really cool, but ultimately it doesn't happen because of this scene. They're at the tunnels and Boyd goes, look, they want us angry. They want us lost. Let's go kill those motherfuckers.
And we will take out as many of those motherfuckers as we can.
But then he brings up that his mother was saying something in Cantonese while she was being killed. And Kenny goes,
Take care of him. That's what it means. He'll be alone now.
So then Kenny cries and he's not ready to fight. So they're not going to do it this episode. But, you know, that's what Boyd was repeating early on in the episode. Bag mentioned that last week that she was saying that. So he just memorized it. That's how he knew what to say. So it all makes sense, but they're not ready to fight right now, and that makes a lot of sense. He needs a little time, but it's coming.
Man, just that scene made me kind of sad, you know? Yeah, that was a wicked scene between those two, man. Also, I was wondering if they actually shot in the snow, because most TV shows, when they do fake snow, it looks awful. And the snow looks so good. And I was like, damn, did they make them stand out there in a blizzard and do that scene? Because that just makes it even more crazy that they pulled that shit off. But this scene is my favorite scene in this show so far.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, my man. Dude, there's something about their chemistry is so fucking good. I really wish we got more Boyd and Kenny together, because every scene they're in together, I'm locked in. Like, I love watching those two play off each other.
I hope he picks that deputy badge back up and puts it back on.
Me too. He's got to do it after this episode, man.
Yeah, I think so. So. Because they're really starting to bond again. So then we see Jade and Christy did a great job making Tin Chen look presentable with Sarah's help. They put the dress on.
I just want it to be right for Kenny.
She looks great as you can be for being ripped apart by these creature monsters. So they did this right before Kenny walks in, and he goes and see his mom dead for the first time. Very, very sad. But then one of my favorite parts of this episode, I think it might be my favorite part, Henry brings Tabitha to the basement. He's like, yo, we used to be hippies back in the day. We quit when our kids were born, but we decided to do acid one last time. We sent the kids off with a babysitter. We decided to do some acid. I've done it. It's crazy. It's a really mind-opening experience.
Just slip it in. It's always the last time that'll get you, though. You're like, oh, just one last time. It's always the time you don't want to do.
Yeah, 100%. So then after that, she started hearing these voices. She started seeing the Ankui kids, and then she described a place that is everywhere, but you couldn't find it if you tried, and you can't leave. And while this is going on, the funeral scene for Tin Chen's going on, and then there's the Easter egg montage. There's so much shit. What did you catch in this scene in the paintings?
There was the Civil War soldier that she holds up. I don't know why Tabitha's holding that up, like looking at it so much. I don't know if it's just for the audience. Yeah, because it was Jade. I don't know. Maybe Jim told her about what he said, because I think he told someone at some point. But yeah, that was weird. You see the lighthouse. You see the Ankui kids. You see the kid in white.
The diner.
The diner. Yeah. There was, I don't know if their cave was in there, or there was a faraway tree for sure. The faraway tree with the bottles on it. But I feel like this is one of those scenes, you know, and like kind of like Only Murders in the Building, like who done it kind of stuff. There's always a scene where they give you the whole answer to the question, you know? And I feel like this was one of those scenes where after this show's done and wrapped up, you could go back and look at this painting scene, and the entire story of this show is probably in that room, like how to get in, how to get out, how to win whatever they have to win against. So I was looking.
Perfect for you guys to theorize about that scene in particular. We'll read those comments in the theory video coming in a couple days. So definitely go wild with those ones. I also have a theory that Henry and Tabitha are going to end up back in the town. In the trailer, there's a scene of a car accident that they're in. And then we see an ambulance, a fresh ambulance with working electronics, ends up in the town. I think they may be on that ambulance. That's my theory.
Dude, that'd be so crazy. That'd be so hype. Yeah. Everyone would be like, okay. I think it really restores hope too. It's like if someone came back from the outside world, they found their way out and they found their way back. It's gonna really hype everyone up. Like, okay, we can really do this. We can leave here.
You know who would be the happiest of that news?
Who?
Jade.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. I was gonna say Jim, but I don't know if anything makes Jim happy. But
no, Jade, because he's always trying to figure out what's going on. He's obsessed with the symbol. He's obsessed with finding answers. So he would be so hyped to see her come back. So
they better have every single painting that Victor's mom did in the back of that ambulance.
Yeah, right?
Yo, bring them all. Yeah, bring every hint you can. Yeah.
That'd be so cool. All right, the last two scenes, we see Ellis talk to Boyd, and then Boyd's like, yo, I'm going to need your help. We're going to trap one of those motherfuckers.
We're going to catch one of these fucking things.
Which I love. And maybe they trapped them, they leave them out in the daytime, and they realize that's all you need to do to kill them. Maybe it's simple as that. Or they learn that, fire does actually kill them. So they'll learn a way to fight back. They'll start fighting back. But you, Bag, have a theory that there's a bigger bad coming than just these creatures. So maybe that's not the end-all answer, fighting back. But
it'll be cool. The best possible way to end this season is to have them finally kill the monsters and then have them basically be like, well, we're not the worst thing around, so have fun. And then you kind of end the season like, oh, no. Yeah. Maybe a black smoke monster. You know, maybe we can bring that back.
Just like Lost, man. Yeah. Now, I think it'd be cool to add a monster that is very mobile, fast, and like more aggressive because these things just walk. They kind of play
during
with you.
The day. Something during the day, maybe.
Yeah. Add a little bit more of a threat to their already very threatening situation. So, the last scene, this was in the trailer. I've been dying to know. My wife was dying to know who was on the phone. So Jim walks in the house. The phone rings, and you mentioned Bag. That's not the first time that phone rang. Kenny answered it last time. So it's Thomas. They say it's Thomas. It's obviously not Thomas.
Hello.
That blew my mind. I wrote WTF with a bunch of F's. I don't know what that was all about, but I think there's some kind of answer in that scene.
Yeah, man. I don't know if that conversation is going to continue next week, if it's just that, and then maybe he's going to like panic and hang up. I don't know.
You think? Because you think he'd want to talk to his son, even though it's not his son, because someone's messing with him. You think he'd want to know?
Maybe they're fucking in purgatory or some shit. It's just, it could, like, I don't know.
I
don't know. It could be
because the son died at a very young age, and the sound of the actor playing the son was older.
It's about like Ethan's age. Like he sounds like Ethan.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Do we know? Yeah. Thomas would have been younger than Ethan, right? I think so.
Yeah. I think he was the youngest. Because he said you guys weren't. Julie said you guys weren't around to help Ethan during that time.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
Thomas.
He would have been real young.
Youngest.
Yeah, probably like 2, 3. Yeah.
And he fell off a changing table and died. So yeah, he was probably a baby. That's what we got. Theory video coming soon. Go wild. Do you agree with me on Fatima? I think there's something up with her. Maybe Elgin. You said the actor that plays Julie tweeted out something about Elgin.
Oh, yeah. She's talking about how Elgin's on his villain arc kind of vibe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it kind of hinted at Elgin maybe not being one for trying to help everybody out this season. So maybe there's a connection, Fatima and Elgin somewhere in there.
All right. I like it. I'm down with that, and we'll see what happens. But all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Theory video coming soon. Get those theories in fast and furious, because if you want to be included in the theory video, you're going to get them in now. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.
Your son, Victor, he gave it to me.
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
That just happened.